And straight ahead here at Eyewitness News, it's been 27 years.
And tonight, South African political prisoner Nelson Mandela is a free man, and that has blacks everywhere, including here in the Twin Cities, celebrating.
Also here in the cities, 5,800 Honeywell union workers say yes to a new contract.
Some local students are using a unique method of trying to curb the homeless problem.
And what a treat tonight at the Orpheum in Minneapolis. We'll tell you about it and the rest of the day's news next on Minnesota's News Channel.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
There's an enemy in your car's engine. Friction. Without the right motor oil, friction can damage your engine and send it to an early grave. You need the special quality of Pennzoil motor oil. Pennzoil exceeds the API's highest standards for maximum protection against friction. Conquer the enemy friction with the world-class protection of Pennzoil.
KSTP, Minnesota's News Channel 5. Now, live, this is Eyewitness News.
It's this scene, political prisoner Nelson Mandela walking through a prison gate to freedom that's sparking joyous celebrations for blacks throughout South Africa and the world tonight, including right here in the Twin Cities. And good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Stan Turner.
And I'm Kirsten Lindquist. After 27 years, Nelson Mandela is a free man tonight. The 71-year-old was sentenced to life behind bars for plotting to overthrow the all-white South African government in 1964. Today, he spoke to his people for the first time since being set free.
I stand here before you, not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people.
Mandela's release comes after the white minority government relaxed restrictions against blacks and recognized the outlawed African National Congress. The release of South Africa's most famous black activist prompted celebrations and violence. At least 2 people are reported dead after huge crowds began looting, and as you can see, police opened fire. Shotguns and rubber bullets were fired to disperse the crowds, wounding at least 100 people. Doctors treated the injured within yards of where Mandela was speaking.
And here in Minnesota, the reaction to Mandela's release is mixed tonight. Hundreds of Twin Cityans celebrated the event that happened halfway around the world. But as Kevin Berger reports, the struggle hits very close to home.
They cut a cake at the Minneapolis YWCA today, a party to celebrate the release of Nelson Mandela. People came to share their joy, but to listen to the cautionary words of speakers like Winsome Monroe. Born in South Africa, Monroe knew Mandela before he was imprisoned and is herself exiled from her country for her political beliefs. She insists the goal of freedom for all South Africans is still in the future.
People at the grassroots are not just going to be satisfied by some token kind of changes, important as they may be.
They lit candles to mark the historic occasion in St. Paul's Camphor United Methodist Church. The members here have actively campaigned to pressure the South African government to change. Beverly Hawkins tied a white ribbon around her choir robe to show her joy. The great-granddaughter of slaves, she feels a connection to the oppression in South Africa.
But I certainly felt sort of a kinship to that, and I think all blacks in America felt a certain kind of pride and joy just for him and for their family and for all the South African people.
The pastor here has been to South Africa himself to witness the system of apartheid. Reverend Oliver White encouraged his congregation to never waver in their faith and to endure as Mandela did.
Ultimately, Nelson Mandela was released because the blood of justice rained down on the tree of righteousness, and a way was made in the wilderness
People in this congregation believe their collective voice has been heard in the wilderness. They pledge to continue to work for change in South Africa from their base here. But they say they know there is much work ahead before their prayers are truly and totally answered. Kevin Berger, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, St. Paul.
In the words of President Bush tonight, all Americans are rejoicing at Mandela's release. The president called Nelson Mandela this afternoon. Mr. Bush says Mandela sounded restrained but warm during their 5-minute conversation. The president invited Nelson Mandela to visit the White House, and he says Mandela indicated he would accept the invitation.
In local news tonight, 5,800 Honeywell union employees have a new contract. The production and maintenance workers, represented by Teamsters Local 1145, ratified a 1-year agreement earlier today. It calls for a 4% wage increase, and that translates to raises of up to 72 cents an hour, depending on job skill, and also includes a new insurance benefit. However, some of the employees we talked with say that it's not enough.
Our rights and our benefits have been eroding for years, and there are a lot of people at this union that are tired of it, and we're going to be looking at that next contract in a year. We're going to come back.
What Honeywell has done to us has really sold us down the river here, and we should not have gone for this contract. I think it was worthless.
The two sides negotiated for 2 months before reaching an agreement.
Some students at Hamlin University in St. Paul are spending the night in huts tonight. The students have constructed a shanty town in the center of campus to focus attention on the homeless problem. They began building the cardboard and wood shacks this afternoon and will live in them for 3 days.
But the object is to bring it out in the public eye, get some people so it's staring at them in the face and they have to do something about it.
The students are also taking donations, which will be turned over to the Dorothy Day Homeless Shelter in St. Paul. A bowl-a-thon to fill empty plates. That's what's happening right now at the Midway Pro Bowl in St. Paul. Target employees got together tonight at the bowling alley in St. Paul to help raise money for local food shelves. The bowlers lined up pledges before they played, and 32 lanes have been open to them all night long. So far, a check for $1,200 has been turned over to a food shelf. These folks will be at it until midnight tonight.
Last year, an abused dog by the name of Kona became the rallying cry for animal rights. Well, now the Ramsey County Animal Rights Coalition, with the help of their new posters, is calling attention to the problem once again.
So I think it's important that as we look at this issue, that we know that violence breeds violence, that if the public violence is constantly put before the public without some compassion and some control, we're going to have difficulty surviving as a society.
The coalition says the public must report animal abuse cases in order to make a real difference. Kona, you might recall, had hearing, sight, and brain damage. The dog's owner is expected to be charged this week.
We have an update for you now on 2-year-old Kyle Sutton. He remains in critical but stable condition while he receives possible life-saving treatment at the University of Minnesota. The young boy developed severe pneumonia after nearly drowning in a pool near his Orlando, Florida home. Well, there's much more to tell you about tonight.
Yes, including the latest on that oil spill on the coast of California.
11 years ago today, history was made in the Middle East, and that has people celebrating tonight. We'll tell you why.
Plus, here in the Twin Cities, it is a musical celebration we'll tell you about. Details right after the weather.
There are rebates on lots of cars, but only Oldsmobile has the double rebate. That's right, the double rebate. Pick any new Oldsmobile 88 Royale in dealer inventory. Get $1,000 cash back from the factory. Then double that and get another $1,000 cash back. $2,000. It's the double rebate, only on the 1990 Oldsmobile 88 Royale, and only at your participating new generation of Oldsmobile dealer.
Looking into a new washer or dryer? Now's the time, because this week, every washer and dryer is on sale at Best Buy. Top name brands, all marked down so you can clean up.
Every day of your life.
What's new in agriculture? N3624 from the new Northrop King, the second largest seed company in America.
Direct from World Competition, Tom Collins presents, for one performance only, the all-new Campbell Soup's Tour of World Figure Skating Champions. See the new Olympic hopefuls in their first American exhibition, heading toward the 1992 Olympic Games. You'll see the future gold, silver, and bronze medalists in the 1990 Tour of World Figure Skating Champions.
Coming to Met Center for one performance only, April 17th. Tickets on sale Monday, February 12th at Met Center and Ticketmaster. Welcomed by KSTP-TV.
In New Mexico today, a deadly spray of gunfire and an all-out manhunt.
And that story tops our look around America this Sunday night. It happened yesterday in a Las Cruces, New Mexico bowling alley. 2 men shot 7 people, killing 4 of them. The dead include a man and his 2 daughters. The gunman set fire to the bowling alley to try to cover up the crime. Robbery was the apparent motive. The gunmen remain at large tonight. Police in Illinois are using dogs and aircraft in their search for 6 inmates. They escaped early this morning from the maximum security prison at Joliet. 3 convicted murderers are among those 6 escapees. They apparently cut through metal bars to make their break. Our final stop around America is Huntington Beach, California, where cleanup crews continue to do battle on the beach. The oil slick from the crippled tanker now stretches 12 miles, but booms aren't keeping the messy oil away from sensitive wetlands. The spill happened last Wednesday when the tanker ripped a hole in its hull with its own anchor.
In a check of news from around the world tonight, Iranians are marking the 11th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. More than 5 million people jammed Tehran's streets to celebrate the Shah's overthrow and the rise to power of Ayatollah Khomeini. National leaders today urged the huge crowds to continue their fight against the United States. American authorities feared the anniversary would trigger terrorist attacks on U.S. interests in Europe. So far, though, nothing has happened. From Romania tonight comes a promise of free and fair elections from the provisional government there. While in Bucharest, Secretary of State James Baker also met with opposition leaders. After a 12-hour flight tonight, Baker is in Canada to meet with allied leaders about the reunification of Germany. And what you are seeing right now is Soviet space history. With 2 cosmonauts on board, this rocket blasted into space. The mission could yield a 40 million ruble profit, the first ever in the 32-year Soviet space program. Once the cosmonauts arrive at the Mir Air Station, they'll work with a new system that makes materials in near weightless conditions.
Well, we've been kind of floating on air these days, haven't we? Beautiful, beautiful weekend to be outside especially.
Absolutely. Well, maybe you did a little skiing today. A lot of people we know did, and Phil Schwartz will tell us how Channel 5 fared in the local media ski challenge. Plus, what we can expect from the weather this week. The forecast is next.
The American farmer takes on a lot of tough jobs every day. He does everything he can to produce a good crop. And he does everything in his power to preserve our delicate environment, such as terracing his fields to control runoff and erosion, so that families like his can continue farming for generations to come. Brought to you on behalf of the American farmer by the makers of dual herbicide.
I'll tell you, my mom and dad, gotta love them. They really work hard. Nice tie, Mom. So tonight I said, I'm in charge. I brought home the Kentucky Fried Chicken 5 or 10 meal. You get 5 pieces, mashed potatoes, gravy, coleslaw, and biscuits. Perfect for 2. For $5.99. They're worth it. Or for just $4 more, you get the 10-piece meal with the works. Great for those, unexpected guests. The Kentucky Fried Chicken 5 or 10 meal. I do what I can.
I could see he had pain right here, but he wouldn't let on.
One day I'd be sure it was nothing. But then what if it was something?
I didn't want to worry anyone, you know? Except myself.
Something, nothing, something then.
If you've been experiencing nagging chest pain, call the city's leading chest pain specialists. Call 874-4444 for Medformation, a service of Abbott Northwestern and Minneapolis Children's Medical Center.
So, I called.
We've had it. If you own it, you ought to keep it up. You ought to improve it. Why should we do that?
That's North Star's owner, Gordon Gunn, talking about the Met Center. This Sunday night on a special rebroadcast of Minnesota Live Tonight, Gordon Gunn, Stadium Commissioner Bill Lester, and hockey legend Walter Bush will be here to discuss the future of the North Stars. Will Minnesota hockey fans be out of luck? Join us for a special rebroadcast of Minnesota Live tonight, Sunday at 10:30, following Eyewitness News here on Channel 5.
Well, have you been feeling cheated, deprived of bone-chilling cold?
Not cold.
You're about to be redeemed, folks.
I've been deprived. I want my share of Arctic cold air, and I think I'm going to get my wish.
We're going to get it.
Well, you know it had to come sooner or later. We didn't get it in January. We haven't gotten it so far in February, so it's about time things turned colder. It's not going to get bitterly cold, but pretty darn close to it. The coldest weather so far that we've seen, since the middle of December is on the way. Not getting in here tomorrow, though. We could set a record high tomorrow with highs near 50 degrees. Right now outside, we have a temperature of 28. Relative humidity 72%. Winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour, and that gives us a wind chill of 15. High temperature today, we got up to 40 degrees again. Overnight low, not too bad, 24. We had a trace of snow shortly after midnight, and you can see again, temperatures above normal. Day 47, I believe, of temperatures above normal. And people were out skiing. This is actually the Media Ski Challenge at Welch Village. And guess what place we finished? First, that's right, with the help of the KSTP Weather Services and Dave Dahl skiing down the hills. I obviously wasn't there. I was there in spirit, so to speak, since I had to work here tonight. But when a member of the KSTP Weather Services shows up, obviously we're going to finish at least in the couple of, well, one or two. Like, they got to give us credit. I mean, we've been finishing third or fourth. Dave shows up, bam, first place, just like that. It would be nice if we could get some natural snow in here instead of the artificial stuff. And we have a chance along about Tuesday. Normally, we see about 30 inches of snow by this point of the season. Last year at this time, we had 37 inches of snow. So far this year, just a little bit over 20 inches. And since the first of the year, we have only seen about 2.5 inches of snow. So obviously, it has been very dry so far this winter. We could possibly add to this amount along about Tuesday, but it doesn't look like a big system, at least not at this point. Just plenty of cold air heading our way, especially as we head into Wednesday and again on Thursday. Satellite view shows the clouds now moving across the state. A few breaks in those clouds and then some more clouds back to the west. And that's the kind of day it's going to be tomorrow. Mixture of clouds and sun, but we're still going to be on the warm side of things as this low pressure system will continue to pull very mild air into our region. We're going to see temperatures getting close to 50 degrees, but you see this Arctic cold stuff? Yeah, it's going to start to spill into sections of Montana and northwest North Dakota tomorrow. And look what happens as we head into Tuesday. That Arctic cold air begins to get in here. Temperatures still probably in the lower 20s, at least early in the day. We'll watch this system. It could possibly bring us some snow late Tuesday, but at this point, it doesn't look like a big deal. The forecast for the rest of tonight, expect partly cloudy skies, relatively mild. Low temperatures only 22 to 27. Then for tomorrow, again, partly cloudy, very mild, 29 to start the day, but look at the high temperatures by late in the day, 45 to 50 degrees. Our record high tomorrow is 47, and we could possibly break that. Tomorrow night, that cold front moves through here, partly cloudy, turning colder, especially late tomorrow night, low temperatures 20 to 25. And then on Tuesday, we're going to see more clouds during the day, a chance of snow, not a good chance at this point, with temperatures steady or slowly falling into the upper teens. And then we turn sharply colder again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with highs barely getting into the teens, lows in the single digits, both above and below zero. So we are going to see some changes in our weather, but we have one more mild day coming up, and that will be tomorrow.
See, I don't want to take the gloss off your glowing report on our ski troops, but I think they tied for first place.
Well,
that would imply that somebody else did.
But when we tie, we actually finish first.
How are we supposed to believe your weather reports if you don't give us the accurate lowdown on the race results?
We did finish first. I just didn't remember who. Well, that's the same thing as first. We were co-champs.
Let's settle this out in the alley later. Okay, now
I'll get my gloves on.
Tied for first. Buster. Oh, up next in sports, a couple of trends hold true. The North Stars have trouble on the road.
I guess we did come in first, after all. And the Gopher basketball team is something to cheer about at home. Joe Schmidt has the sports next.
So how long before our TV's fixed?
Believe me, mister, I wish I knew.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when.
Sad to say, most appliance stores don't have their own service department. This message was brought to you by one that does. Highland.
A cruise on Norwegian Cruise Line can do wonders for your memory. You forget just about everything. Norwegian Cruise Line. the world's best way to disconnect the world.
Call Hobbit Travel, the leaders in special cruise prices starting as low as $3.99 per person. That's Hobbit Travel, the experts in cruise and vacation savings.
Nobody can tell you what a complete and thorough brake job will cost until they inspect your car. Nobody. Midas gives you a full inspection up front. And for $59 per axle, we'll install organic shoes or pads. $79 for semi-metallic. Inspect hydraulics, resurface drums or rotors, repack non-sealed wheel bearings, and replace needed grease seals and fluid. So for brakes done right, remember, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
The Gophers did it again. It's getting hard to believe they're doing so well.
Outstanding. You put them in Williams Arena, and they are something else. Right now, if the LA Lakers played the Gophers at the Barn, I'd put my money on the Gophers. Purdue was the latest highly ranked victim at the Barnyard. The Gophers kept their unbeaten streak alive with a 73-72 win at Williams Arena.
It was a very big win for us to stay in the Big Ten race. We knew we had to come out with a victory today. One of our goals is not to lose at home. And by far, this is the toughest game that we had at home this year.
Oh, boy, was it ever tough. Purdue came in here with a 5-0 record on the road in the Big Ten. Steve Scheffler hit the jumper as Purdue built up a 6-point lead in the first half. But Kevin Lynch turned the tide for the Gophers in that first half. First, he'll pull up and nail the three-pointer. Now, watch on the inbound pass. He'll pickpocket the Boilermaker, pull up, nail the jumper. It's a 5-point swing. Now to the second half. The Gophers opened up a 10-point lead. Walter Bond steals up to Lynch, back to Walter. He'll hit the layup and is fouled. But Purdue doesn't leave the Big Ten for nothing. They came back with 10 straight points. Jimmy Oliver hit a three-pointer here. The Gophers led by one with less than a minute left. But Tony Jones picks off the pass, flies in for the jam. Purdue led 72-71. The Gophers needed a big hoop now. Mel Newbern will drive, forced the shot, but he popped it. 73-72 Gophers. Purdue has one last chance. They go to Tony Jones. He pulls up. His jumper is short. The Gophers get the rebound and hold on for a 73-72 win. Afterwards, Willie Burton turned cheerleader as the Gophers move to 7-4 in the Big Ten. Purdue drops to 9-2. Minnesota still has an outside shot at the Big Ten title.
It's always exciting to win, but just the atmosphere of this game and everything. They're the team that's #1 in the Big Ten. And, you know, we're a long shot, but we still have a chance for the Big Ten title. I mean, we have excellent players, and we play together. You know, this is a very strong team. We love each other. We win together, we lose together. And I don't think tonight was an upset. I think we went out, we played hard. We stayed disciplined on the defensive end. We listened to Coach Haskins and the coaching staff instructions, and we came out with the victory.
The Gophers will now host Michigan on Thursday at Williams Arena. Michigan beat Illinois today, 93-79. Big day for Rumeal Robinson of the Wolverines. He had a career-high 29 points as Michigan moved to 7-3 with a 93-79 win over the Fighting Illini. The only place you'll find more hot dogs than at the NBA All-Star game is if you look in Oscar Mayer's fridge. They were all out in Miami today. Magic Johnson, the game's MVP, scored 22 points. But the play of the day, Isaiah Thomas splits the seam with that pass between the legs to Michael Jordan for a pair. The East beat the West 130-113. Another roadblock for the Minnesota North Stars. This time they were in Landover, Maryland to meet the Washington Capitals. The Minnesota connection on the Caps hurt the Stars today. Former North Star Dino Cicerelli passes the former Gopher Tim Berglund, and he gets his first NHL goal against the Stars. Later on, the Caps led 2-0. On the power play, Dino gets the puck out front, scoring his 28th goal of the season, and the Caps led 3-0. Now to the third. Minnesota mounted a comeback. Don Barber has had the hot hand lately. He shoots high and scores. It was 3-2. The Caps made it 4-2. Then the North Stars came back. Neil Broughton and Dave Gagne set up a nice goal. Broughton's 18th to make it 4-3. But Washington put the game away when Jeff Courtnall will break free here, beat John Casey. Washington hands the Stars another loss on the road. 5-3 the final at the Capitol Center today. It was the biggest upset by a Douglas since Ernie knocked out Chip. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson last night for the World Heavyweight title. But maybe not. The WBA and WBC are holding back giving the title to Buster because they say when Tyson put Douglas to the campus in the 8th, the refs started the count too late.
If he was a real true champion, he would just face facts that he got whooped and go on, you know.
But to, you know, try to say that, well, I knocked him down first, I should be the champion is ludicrous.
I never cried or bitched about anything. Forget my friend. You know what I mean? I walk it like I talk it. You know what I mean? I'm just asking for a fair chance. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I lost before. Nothing's wrong with losing. I can handle a loss, but I want to lose fairly.
The rematch already, it will be worth millions. It was a happy homecoming for Ginger Helgeson of Edina. She was here with the Pepperdine tennis team competing in the Rolex National Indoor Tennis Championship. Ginger, a three-time winner of the state high school championship, added another major title today. She beat the second-ranked player in the country in the finals of the tournament. She becomes the first Minnesotan to win the prestigious tournament. The Hawaiian Open was won by a Hawaiian today. Sometimes it works out that way. David Ishii played steady for 4 rounds this week. Look at this shot out of the bunker. That's the way you play out of the sand. Ishii normally plays on the Japanese Pro Tour, but he may be playing more on the PGA Tour after winning his first tournament and the $180,000 prize money. And finally, our athlete of the week. We have co-winners. One is already a star, and the other is a rising star. Together, they left the skating fans at the Salt Palace this weekend starstruck. What's better than one champion in women's U.S. figure skating? How about 2? Minnesota can claim that distinction as Minnetonka's Jill Trenery and Burnsville's Alice Sue Clays took titles in their respective divisions. Jill skated a near-perfect long program to help capture her 3rd title, joining an elite group to ever do so. Alice Sue Clays came out of nowhere to win the U.S. junior title. What makes this even more amazing is that this 14-year-old is already a sophomore in college at the University of Minnesota. Both skaters had the lead going into their final programs and responded with outstanding performances.
I didn't have any mistakes, nothing major, a minor slip in the slow part, but I worked so hard, and I really wanted it to end up like this because I thought if hard work doesn't pay off, I don't know what does. My goal was to be in the top 5, and because last year I was 11, so I'm very happy.
Jill Trenery, the reigning queen of ice, and Alice Sue Clays, a princess waiting in the wings, our Channel 5 Athletes of the Week. A program reminder, tonight, right after Eyewitness News, Channel 5 will rebroadcast the special Minnesota Live Tonight on the North Stars. It's an interesting show with all the main players on the show.
Well, that Alice really has some grace.
Yes, she is. She's an up-and-comer. She looked really well. I looked at the whole 4-minute program. She did extremely well. She fell down once, but she's going to be there, I think, in 92.
Nice, fluid, artistic moves, right?
Yeah.
Ballet-like.
Yeah, that's right.
She looks good.
Thank you, Joe. Well, still ahead here on Eyewitness News. Hey, this is going to soup up your Sunday night, huh?
Thousands of people had a chance to hear the sounds of James Ingram performing in the Twin Cities tonight, and you'll get a chance to hear some of that magical performance when we come back.
Channel 5's Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Domino's Pizza.
Oh, children, can't you see? It's time to rest and take it easy. Now, oh, children, what's the hurry? It's time, my children. It's time for Domino's Pizza.
Today, more than ever, you need Domino's to take care of dinner so you can take care of life.
Oh, children, it's time for Domino's Pizza. Oh, yeah.
The Twin Cities have an energy all their own, and every day it's captured right here. The Star Tribune.
Direct from World Competition, Tom Collins presents, for one performance only, the all-new Campbell Soups Tour of World Figure Skating Champions. See the new Olympic hopefuls in their first American exhibition, heading toward the 1992 Olympic Games. You'll see the future gold, silver, and bronze medalists in the 1990 Tour of World Figure Skating Champions.
Coming to Met Center for one performance only, April 17th. Tickets on sale Monday, February 12th at Met Center and Ticketmaster. Welcomed by KSTP-TV.
Before we say goodnight, we want to tell you about a party we paid a visit on today. 200 children and the staff of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at St. Paul's Children's Hospital got together for an annual celebration. It's a reunion, really, of kids and the folks who cared for them while they were very sick in the Neonatal Care Unit. The staff appreciates seeing just how far these kids have come, and for the children, well, you can see it's just plain fun.
There's the clown. Finally tonight, well, two powerhouses in soul music are strutting their stuff in Minneapolis. I wish we could have been there tonight.
Me too. Patti LaBelle and James Ingram have teamed up again for a much-anticipated return engagement at the Orpheum Theater. We're going to leave you tonight with a sample of Mr. Ingram's performance. Good night.